watching ERi-TV English news broadcast live from our headquarters in Asmara. I'm Ham Berkhat. Let's first go to top stories that are making headlines today. 18 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Financial support to families of martyrs. IMF cuts global economic growth forecast. Dozens feared lost as smuggling boat capsizes off Florida. Eighteen patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today at testing stations in the central and Gasparka regions. Out of these, 70 patients are from testing stations in Asmara Central region. The last patient is from testing station in Barantu, Gasparka region. On the other hand, 42 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central 31 and Northern Red Sea 11 regions have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. Sadly, 77-year-old patient in the Central region has passed away due to the pandemic. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 8,913, while the number of deaths has risen to 96. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 9,408. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 26 January 2022. Youth Workers Organization and trainees of Nakfa Social Science Training Center contributed 93,000 Nakfa in support of 33 families of martyrs in their area. Accordingly, 12 families of martyrs in the 12 administrative areas in Ginda subzone were extended with 6,000 Nakfa each, while 21 families of martyrs in Nakfa subzone were provided with 1,000 Nakfa each, indicating that supporting families of martyrs is not to be left to the government only. Mr. ERi-TV, administrator of the Ginda subzone, commended the initiative the Youth Workers Organization took, pointing out that the support was in continuation of similar initiative by the public to support families of martyrs. Mr. Johannes Keleta, director of the Nakfa Social Science Training Center, said that the center is initiating a program to enable families of martyrs improve their livelihoods. Forestry and Wildlife Authority called on the community and administrations to strengthen participation in the effort to preserve the forestry and wildlife resources of the country. At an activity assessment meeting conducted on 25 January in Mendefera, Mr. Gabriel Mikael Berher, representative of the authority in the southern region, expressed appreciation the support of the members of popular force are making in control the illegal cutting trees. Mr. Gabriel Mikael indicated that as part of the National Greening Campaign, over 1.2 million tree seedlings have been planted in the region and 80% are in good condition, indicating on significance of the strengthening relationship between members of the authority and administrations to control deforestation. Colonel Kinfe Haptom, manager of the Forestry and Wildlife Authority, called for reinforced efforts in planting tree seedlings. The participants, on their part, discussed on the report, presented and adopted various recommendations, including 4 strong measures on those engaged in illegal cutting of trees. We will be back with international news. Stay tuned. The global economy is entering 2022 in a weaker position than previously expected. The International Monetary Fund warned on Tuesday as it downgraded its global growth outlook largely due to clouds gathering over the recoveries the US and China. The IMF latest World Economic Outlook calls for the global growth to downshift from 5.9% in 2021 to 4.4% this year. The 2022 forecast is half a percentage point lower than the fund's October outlook and largely reflects forecasts markdowns for the world's 2 largest economies. The fund saw the U.S. economy growing 4.0% this year, that that was 1.2 percentage points lower than its October call and reflected their failure to pass President Joe Biden's Build Back Better spending plan, the Federal Reserve's unwinding of the pandemic stimulus measures, and continuing supply shortages that are driving inflation. The IMF sees China's economy growing 4.8% this year, 0.8 percentage points lower than its October forecast, thanks to the country's business sapping. Coast Guard officials are searching for 39 people who are feared missing after their ship reportedly capsized on Saturday night off, the Florida coast officials said. Alerted on Tuesday morning after fishermen spotted a man clinging to the hull of a boat 45 miles from the city of Fort Pierce. The survivor said the group had embarked from Bimini, Bahamas on Saturday night and hit foul weather. U.S. officials say the boat may have been part of a human smuggling venture. According to the survivor, who has not been identified, none of the passengers were wearing the life vests. The search was being led by Miami Coast Guard sector using ships and aircrafts, the agency said on Twitter. By Tuesday afternoon, no further survivors had been found. Before we close for today's news, let's have a recap of the headlines tonight. 18 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today. Financial support to families of martyrs. IMF cuts global economic growth forecast. Dozens fears lost as smuggling boats capsized off Florida. That was all for today's news. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.